Welcome to Movement, Rhythm, and Conversation, the show where we delve into the profound impact of religion, spark provoking conversation, explore the world through an open-minded perspective. I'm your host, Tafari, here to bring you engaging discussions, eye-opening stories, and conversation that pulls no punches. Whether it's faith, culture, creativity, or real-life experience, we keep it raw, honest, and unfiltered. Peace and power, family. Before we get started, please take a moment to do something important. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode of Movement, Rhythm, and Conversations with Tafari. Every click, share, and subscriptions help push this movement forward, spreading knowledge, rhythm, and power into our community. Let's rise together. Now, let's get into today's conversation. Welcome to Movement, Rhythm, and Conversations. I'm your host, Tafari. Today's conversation asks a question that many think about quietly, but few feel free to say out loud. Why does the African American community still believe in the Bible? This is not an attack on faith, nor a dismissal of spirituality. It is an examination of history, psychology, and inheritance. We explore how a belief system introduced during slavery became deeply rooted in Black identity, how it offered comfort during trauma, and how modern scholarship now raise serious questions about its origin, contradictions, and purpose. This episode is about reclaiming the right to question without fear, shame, or guilt, and understanding of how belief, survival, and conditioning can become intertwined across generations. Let's get into it. They told us heaven was a distance. Faith introduced under captivity. Christianity was not freely chosen by enslaved Africans in America. It was imposed within a system of domination. Enslavers used selective scriptures to justify bondage, obedience, and suffering, while suppressing African spiritual systems that emphasize balance, ancestries, and self-determination. This mattered because belief systems adopted under coercion often persist long after the coercion ends, especially when they are tied to survival. The Bible as a tool of control, not liberation. While many enslaved Africans found ways to reinterpret scriptures for hope, the original purpose of introducing the Bible was not spiritual enlightenment. It was behavioral control. Passages about obedience to master, submission to authority, and delayed reward in the afterlife were emphasized. The contradiction lies in using the text that once justified enslavement as foundation for liberation without fully interrogating its role in oppression. Modern scholarship and biblical inconsistencies. In modern times, extensive historical, archaeological, and textual research has revealed contradictions, editorial changes, and political influence in the Bible, constructions, multiple authors, revisions, translation, and omissions challenge the idea of a single divine, infallible source. Yet these findings are rarely discussed in churches, creating a gap between available knowledge and inherited belief. Psychological conditioning and generational trauma. Belief systems are not only intellectual, but also psychological. For many African Americans, Christianity became associated with comfort, communities, and emotional survival during centuries of trauma. When trauma is unresolved, the tools used to survive it can become sacred, even if they were originally imposed. Question the Bible can feel like you question one ancestral identity or moral foundation. Faith as the last untouchable institution. Slavery stripped African Americans of language, land, family structure, and culture. The church became one of the few spaces controlled by Black people, even if the theology was inherited. This made religion emotionally protected. Critiquing the Bible is often perceived not as intellectual inquiry, but as an attack on Black resilience, despite the fact that resilience and truth are not opposite. Contradictions between scripture and lived reality. Many biblical promises, prosperity, justice, divine protection do not align with the lived experience of Black America across generations. Despite deep faith, prayer, and obedience, disparity persists. This raises an uncomfortable question. If belief alone were significant, why do outcomes remain unchanged? The tension between faith and reality is often resolved by blaming individuals rather than examining the belief system. The fear of moral collapse without religion. One reason the Bible remains central is the fear that without it, morality disappears. This fear ignored the fact that African civilization had moral systems long before Christianity. Ethics, communities, responsibilities, and social order existed independently of biblical texts. The idea that morality depends on a book introduced through enslavement reflects a deeper psychological dependency, institutional incentive to preserve belief. Churches are not only spiritual spaces, but they are also economic and social institutions. Pastors, denominations, and religious organizations benefit from preserving biblical authority. To question the Bible threatens the institution's power, financial stability, and leadership roles. As a result, doubt is often discouraged, and critical inquiries is framed as rebellion rather than growth. Psychological damage or physical adaptation. The question is not whether African Americans are damaged, but whether belief in the Bible represents unresolved psychological adaptation to trauma. Survival strategies are not inherently wrong, but they can become limited if never reassessed. What helps people endure captivity may not be what helped them achieve full autonomy, self-definition, and intellectual freedom. Reclaiming the right to question. To question the Bible does not require rejection, spirituality, communities, or meaning. It's required reclaiming the right to examine belief honestly, without fear, shame, or accusation, or betrayal. Growth begins when inherited beliefs are evaluated in the light of evidence, history, and lived experience. Liberation is not only physical or economics, but it's also intellectual. And intellectual freedom begins with the courage to ask why we believe what we believe. As we close, the goal is not to tell anyone what to believe, but to encourage honesty, reflections about why we believe. Survival tools are not the same as liberation tools, and what sustains a people through captivity may not be what leads them into full self-determination. To question the Bible does not mean rejecting morality, communities, or meaning. It means refusing to outsource truth without examinations. Intellectual freedom is a necessary step towards emotional, cultural, and economics Freedom. Growth begins when we allow ourselves to revisit inherited beliefs with courage and clarity. Liberation is not only about breaking physical chains, but it is about freeing the mind to ask its own question and seek its own understanding. This is Movement, Rhythm, and Conversations. I'm your host, Tafari. Question everything. Most importantly, stay black. Peace. If today's conversation spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share with the family. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification so you never miss an episode of Movement, Rhythm, and Conversation with Tafari. Together we rise. Unchain your mind, reclaim your soul.